Welcome back to some more FeatureCam video tutorials. Today we're going to be talking about tool cribs and setting up tools. So the first thing that you want to do when you're setting up your tool crib is go into Manufacturing, Tool Manager. This box will give you a list of all the tools that FeatureCam has to use, and you can create your own crib of tools specific to what the machine has. Now, why this is important is because when you make a tool crib, you limit the types of tools that the mill has to use. Both the basic and tools cribs have many different types of end mills, ball mills, taper mills, and you may not have those specific cutters in your mill. FeatureCam doesn't know that, so you have to create a tool crib to let FeatureCam know what tools are available to complete the program. So through your tool manager, you want to come over here to New Crib. Click on New Crib and just name the new crib. You can see now that your new crib is listed in the From Crib and Current Crib tool boxes. What you'll essentially be doing is taking tools from your basic or your tool crib and moving them into your new crib. So here's a crib that you're pulling from, and this is a crib that you're putting them in. You're just taking copies of those tools and putting them in a new crib. And in between is a list of all the different tool groups that you have to choose from. You have end mills, face mills, turning tools, taps, drills, everything that you may need already in here. So to show you how to create a simple crib, we're going to be putting some end mills, and let's go ahead and put a 3/8 end mill into our new crib. So we're under tools, we're under the end mill, so we want to scroll through this list until we find end mill 0375 for 3/8. So here you can see end mill 0375, we have a 4 reg, and whenever you click on one of these tools, it gives you all the descriptions, all the specifications for that specific tool. There's 4 types of 3/8 end mills. You can see here's 4 reg. This is a high-speed steel 3/8 diameter 4 flute end mill. Underneath it you have a high-speed steel 3/8 2 flute end mill. Here's a little longer 2 flute high-speed steel end mill, and then you have a regular 2 flute high-speed steel end mill. So you want to choose the one that represents the tool that you have in there. Oftentimes I tend to use a 3/8 high. It's a 2 flute, it's center cuts, high-speed steel, so I want to go ahead and add that to my current tool. So you'll see it makes a copy of that end mill under current tools as long as your current crib is listed as your new crib. That's what's in there. And if I were to switch your current crib, you would see that all of those end mills are already in there, but under new crib you only have one. So let's go ahead and add a 1/2 inch end mill as well. So here's our 1/2 inch high. Again, it's 2 flutes, center cut. If you have a 4 flute end mill, make sure you get the 4 reg. This one is a taper bit, so you want to make sure you find the right regular. Here it is. This one is a non-center cutting, so you want to make sure that if you're doing any plunges with this, that you make sure your end mill is a center cutting bit, or if you go ahead and plunge with another bit and then switch to this 4 flute end mill to finish out your pocket or your boss or whatever you're working on. I'm going to go ahead and use a 2 flute high, add that. You can see that is center cutting. So now we have two tools in our crib, and let's go ahead and put a drill in. So I changed my tool group to twist drill, and you can see all the different types of twist drills, the sizes, and then all these letters next to it. Let's just choose this 11/64 first example. You will see that the tool material is cobalt, the finish is TIN, and that it is 118 angle. And if I were to choose the one above it is a cobalt with a bright finish, and the one above that is high-speed steel with a bright finish. So you have to make sure you choose the right material on your twist drill as well. That will decide how fast and how deep you can cut with this drill bit. So we're just going to use high-speed steel bright. We'll add that. And let's go ahead and find a face mill. Here's they already have a face mill set up, so we'll just go ahead and add that. Now, this particular face mill is not like the face mill that I use in my shop, so I need to change some specifications on this current bit. To do that, I can double-click the face mill underneath current tools because I want to edit that one that's in my crib. So double-click on face mill. Now you can come up and you pull up the properties, and I can change any of these boxes. Our diameter for our face mill is 3.5 inches. It's a 2-inch height, and it has 12 teeth on it. So I can hit apply. You can see that the graphic changes. I can hit OK. So now I have a carbide 3.5-inch diameter face mill that's 12 flutes. Okay, so now I have 4 tools in my tool crib. I need to give them tool numbers. The way the mill works, each tool is assigned a number, and it goes out to find that tool based on what number. If you do not set tool numbers in FeatureCAM, it's going to set them for you, starting it with number 1 going to number 4. If those aren't the numbers in your mill, you run the risk of pulling out the wrong tool and scrapping your part. For example, let's say I have this face mill set up as tool 1 in my mill, but FeatureCAM sets up this InMill 375 as tool 1. What will happen when I take my program and run it on the mill, FeatureCAM's thinking it needs a 3/8 InMill. It'll go out to grab tool 1. But tool 1 on my mill is that face mill. So actually that face mill will be put in the spindle and used as a 3/8 mill, which is bad. So you want to make sure that you have your tool numbers set correctly. So let's change that face mill to tool number 1. We'll find our face mill in our tool group. Double click on face mill. Now at the top you can see some more tabs: override, holder, feed speed. We want to go to overrides. And then down here you'll see tool number. This is where you can change your tool number to the tool number that's in the mill. So we set that as 1. Hit apply. OK. Now let's set our end mills. Our 3/8 end mill. Let's go to overrides. Set this as 3. Apply. OK. And the reason I chose 3 is because that's usually where I keep the 3/8 end mill in my mill. And then our 1/2 inch we'll set as 4. Apply. OK. And then our twist drill, overrides, 2, apply, OK. So now we have a crib that has 2 end mills, a twist drill, and a face mill in it, and assigned tool numbers to those 4 tools. So now you can hit OK. It'll ask you if you want to save your crib. Yes. Now it'll ask you if you want to change your crib tools to new crib. Yes. So now you're back in FeatureCAM and you're working with the new crib. And to verify that you're working under that crib, down in the bottom right hand corner you should see your crib name right here. If you see tools or basic, you know you're working with the one of FeatureCAM's default tool cribs, and you'll need to change that. To change it, you can click on new crib down at the bottom, and it'll give you a list of all the cribs available. You want to make sure you have your crib that you just created selected there. So just for review, go to Tool Manager. To bring up the Tool Manager box, you have Basic and Tools are FeatureCam's default tool cribs. They have a vast array of tools already loaded in them. What you need to do is find the tools that you are using and add them to your new crib. Again, to make a new crib, click on New Crib. You can enter the name here. It'll show it. It'll add it to the list of cribs, and then you're moving tools from the Tools crib or the Basic crib to your new crib. And again, here's all the different tool groups, so you can find all your tool groups. If you need to edit your tools, double click on the tool itself. You'll bring up the Properties box. To change your tool number, click on your Override tab. You'll see the tool number there. Whatever you do to this box, make sure you hit Apply and OK. If you need to create a new specific tool, you can come to New Tool, and it will create a copy of the current tool selected, and then you can edit this information for your new tool. You can see the different types of tool in type, tool material, finish, if it's center cutting or not. Here's a ball nose option, end radius if it's a bull nose, direction of cut, number of flutes, cutter length, expose length. So all the properties of that bit you can change on here, as well with the tool number. Now I made that new tool and it made a copy of my 3/8 end mill, so my tool number is the same. So I want to make sure I change my tool number, otherwise I'll have issues with FeatureCam later. Go ahead and click cancel on that. You can save your crib, you can export your crib and save all the tools that are currently in your crib. It saves it as an XML file, so hit export. Apparently it thinks I don't have any tools in there. Let's just go back in there real quick just to make sure it's not trying to point to a new crib I'm trying to make. Export. So it doesn't like that for some reason. Let's try pointing it to a different save spot. To my desktop. Hit export. So you see 15 tools exported. Even though I only have 4, I haven't figured out why it says 15 tools, but the tools that we created are saved in there. So now I have it saved. I can hit close, and if to import that new crib, you saved it, XML file. Now we need to bring it back into FeatureCam. I deleted the original one. In order to do that, first you need to make a new crib. Okay, I'm going to name it something different. So I've created a new crib. I have that crib selected. Now I can go to Import, find my XML file, and hit Import, and it imports those tools. And you can see here's my 375, here's my 1/2 inch. Go to my face mill. Here's my face mill that I've edited, and go to the twist drill. There's my twist drill, and all of these should have the same tool numbers that we set earlier. Again, to save and import your tool crib, first you need to export your tools to an XML file, someplace that you can save to, probably a flash drive. And then to import those, you need to make a new crib first. Before you hit export, you need to make a new crib. And hit import and choose that XML file as your import, and it'll import those tools into the crib you just created. Okay? Alright, that's your tool manager, and that's your tool crib. Making a tool crib allows FeatureCam to know what tools you have in your mill and what you're working with. It makes the programming a lot simpler, so make sure you set up an accurate tool crib. Alright, thank you.